You've got precious treasures that you've been saving and planned on passing on to your children, but you've just discovered that they don't want the treasures. You're feeling lots of emotions and wondering what to do now. Today, I'll share my top 5 tips for this situation based on my personal and professional experience. Don't worry, we've got this. I'm a professional organizer, mother of 3 adult children, and I'm the only granddaughter on one side of my family and the oldest granddaughter on the other side. I have personal experience having family treasures passed down to me, and also experience with the surprise of finding out that my children didn't want certain treasures I'd been saving for them. It can be awkward and surprising, but you can move through this and keep your memories and your relationships with these practical tips I'll share with you. Before you start downsizing, you'll most likely need to deal with emotions and set realistic expectations. It can be surprising and even hurtful to find that your children and family don't want the things that you treasure. Take the time to grieve for what feels like a loss, but remember that the people in your life are always more important than the things. Your relationship with your children and your family is more important than anything that you have. Keep reminding yourself of this and be respectful of your children's preferences and wishes. They have to live their life the way that they choose, and that may not be with your treasures. Your continued relationship with them is what you want to keep. I've seen friends and clients work through this difficult conundrum. Is this something that you can relate to? Let me know with a thumbs up below. In addition to dealing with emotions, you need to set realistic expectations for what you can keep. What will your space allow you to keep? What does your energy level allow you to keep? Because everything that you choose to keep will have to be cleaned and maintained and moved at some point. What does your health allow? For example, has that collection of stuffed animals that you've kept collected dust over time and now it impacts your allergies or your breathing? In setting expectations, be sure to focus on the reality of your space and your situation to help guide you in making the decisions on what items to keep and what items to declutter. When you've set healthy boundaries for your emotions and your expectations, then you're ready to decide what to do with those special items that you've been keeping. So the first idea is you've been keeping and treasuring these items, but it's very possible that you've had them stored away and protected. Well, if you're not going to pass them on to someone else, pull them out and start using them and enjoying them every day. So use that special china as your everyday dishes. Put that heirloom quilt on a bed or over a chair and enjoy it and use it every day. If these items make you happy, then use them now. Don't save them for a special occasion or to pass on to family. You love them. You deserve to use them now. I have a confession. I inherited my mother's doll collection, and while it isn't valuable, it is incredibly sentimental. It was to my mother and it is to me. I kept them boxed up and protected because we moved around the world so many times with the military, but I now regret that. I wished I had pulled them out when my mother came to visit so that she could have played with my children and with the dolls, and that would have created very special memories for my mother, for my children, and for myself. At this point, I plan on keeping the dolls, and when I may have future grandchildren, I will make sure that I take the time to play with my grandchildren and the dolls and tell them the story of how precious they were to my mother. If the dolls become damaged, it's okay because we'll be creating treasured memories, and those memories are much more important to me than any of the individual dolls. So I really encourage you to consider using your treasured items every day and enjoying them and collecting those precious memories that you can keep with you always. So another idea that I use with my clients is if you have a large collection of items, choose 1 or 2 to keep and display in your home, and you can let the rest of the collection go. This works extremely well for collectible items like figurines or collectible plates. This is something we've used personally in our family. My children chose from their grandparents one item. On one side of the family, it was collectible plates, and on the other, it was figures. And they each got to choose one item, and they have those, and they display them in their bedrooms when they were young and now in their homes. This suggestion works well for collections that have many pieces, things like china or a collection of figurines, stuffed animals, books, a collection of stamps, a coin collection, comic books, and so on. But the key here is that you're going to choose 1 or 2 items from the collection, and you're going to display them so that you can enjoy them every day. Another suggestion I have for you is often when we have special items, we're concerned that if we don't keep the item, that we'll forget the special memory that's attached to it. So what I suggest is that you take photos of those items and create a photo book. This is a great solution for large items like furniture or vehicles. This also works really well for large collections. Anything collectible. You may have decided that you're going to keep 1 or 2 of the items and let the others go, but you'd like to keep the memory of the entire collection. So if you take photos of the entire collection, you can then take photos of each individual item that you're going to let go and create a photo book from it. And you can hold on to the memories in the photo book, but let the actual items go. Creating a photo book can also work well for family photos and keepsake papers. This also prevents the dilemma of dividing photos and items up between multiple children. You can create a photo book and then print out multiple copies of the photo book so that every family member receives copies of those keepsakes and of those memories. I've also used this idea of creating a photo book to take photos of rooms before items are removed when someone's moving or downsizing. It allows you to keep the memory of the entire room the way that it was. If you're finding these ideas helpful, subscribe below so that you never miss out on my newest organizing ideas. Another idea that I've used personally and suggested to clients is to repurpose items. Look for ways to repurpose your keepsakes and make them useful rather than just keeping them and having them take up space. For example, keep a couple of treasured teacups or plates and use them to organize jewelry or office supplies in a desk drawer. Have a quilt or throw pillows made from treasured clothing. This is something you can do yourself, or there are companies that will do this for you. This is a technique I use in my own life. I keep items that have special memories attached to them, but I put them to use, most often in organizing. And that way, every time I open a drawer or a cabinet, I have the item that's being put to use, but I also then see the memories, and it brings me great joy in my everyday life. So look for ways that you can repurpose and put to use your keepsake items so that they can bring you joy and happiness every day. When you realize that your family doesn't want your keepsakes, it can be difficult. It can be very emotional. But rather than focusing on those emotions, focus on how donating those items can help your community and help individuals in your community. When you donate those items, there are people who will be ecstatic to receive them. They'll immediately put them to use and they will treasure them. So while originally you had envisioned your keepsakes going to a family member and being treasured, if that's not the situation now, think about the person who will receive this when you donate it, who will be so happy to receive it and will treasure your item, and it will bring them joy. So think about if you donate your china, that may be able to create a beautiful wedding for someone on a budget who's doing a DIY wedding, and think of the joy that will bring them. And just imagine the collectible figurines that you donate to a charitable thrift store will be purchased to be given as a precious gift for Mother's Day or a birthday or a holiday. And that will bring joy to the giver and to the person who receives it. So you're sharing that joy with 2 people in your community. Because I'm a professional organizer and I've volunteered in charitable thrift stores, this is something that I suggest to my clients, and I've seen firsthand how it really flips the switch for them, and it makes it much easier for them to donate items that are precious to them and they're having a hard time deciding to give up. But when they think about the person who will receive it and the joy that they'll receive, it really helps it make it easier for them to donate these items. And it especially works with keepsakes that they have. In fact, it works so well that I've created a course called Declutter to Donate. The course walks you through decluttering 25 different areas of your home with a focus on looking for items that you can donate to help in your community. I walk you through the items that are most needed and rarely donated in your community, and I hope you find the best charitable organizations to donate a wide range of different types of items to. I'll drop a link to the course below, and also you can find out more about Decluttering to Donate with this video. I know that it can be difficult when you discover that your family's not excited about receiving the items that you've been saving and looking forward to sharing with them. But you can find ways to keep the memories, keep the most special items, donate the rest, and maintain the valuable relationships with your family. And of course, I'd love to work with you to declutter and downsize, and we can do that through virtual organizing via email and video chat. You can learn more about virtual organizing on the blog via the link below. So let's hold on to treasured memories and the important, valuable relationships with our families.